put your head on the pillow and know that you had something to do with this, that people came to the party for the kit, for the boerewors rolls, for the sound system. The atmosphere was electric, and all that was missing was a big crowd, even though Randjiesfontein can't exactly be accused of not bringing in their own crowd.
Andrew, you know, again, I've got to say that the guys who organised the transfers for us actually played a part in that, because they said, we've got some supporters, how do they get there? And the guys went and picked up the supporters and brought them to the field. And I've got to say, there was a few issues beforehand, which I don't want to get into, that we weren't sure about certain things. So about advertising it and really putting it out there, we did it on low-key, just to get the feel. It's the first time we're doing it. We didn't want to have people's expectations built up and then we don't deliver. And I think we delivered on that, and we learned by it. I mean, we even had the ladies at the at Turfentine offering to come and be the pom-pom girls for the teams, as the word got around that there's a tournament on the go. So I think this is the first one, and I think it will grow, definitely. We've had the catering people, the Sizwe saying, well, we want to enter a team, and PHUMELELA saying, well, we want to enter a team. But it can grow. You know, there's a lot that can come out of it, even to organising, maybe thinking about it and organising a league for these guys on a small scale, and to make sure that it does continue, because it is something that they love. And I must say, afterwards, when everything was done and it was a success, and everybody, in the beginning it was all very, I think everybody was sort of, I wouldn't say hesitant, but sort of down key and didn't know what to expect. But afterwards, I was quite emotional about it, because I thought it was something well done, and a lot of people contributed to it, and a lot of joy was brought to these guys, and I think it's good for their soul and it's good for the sport.
Now, ideas are normally discussed off camera, but I just get the feeling that we've had rock bands come to Turffontein after racing. We've had other forms of entertainment. Perhaps it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to have the final of a soccer tournament after the race meeting with all the people there to give them the recognition that they deserve in front of a big crowd.
Andrew, there's no doubt. I mean, these things, you know, you're able to look and see where you can take it to, and what exposure you can give them. And obviously, from my point of view, having spoken to you, I'd like this obviously to go onto Teletrack, where people can see what happened, and then start looking and saying, well, oh, that was fantastic, and racing people saying, well, why don't you tell us about it, and to see what good has come out of it. You know, it's not window dressing, because it's got nothing to do about, it's about the actual guys enjoying a sport which they love and giving them the opportunity, which they do on a smaller scale, but I think this just gave them that opportunity to play for something more than they do on a weekly basis.
Randjiesfontein obviously lends itself to that beautiful country atmosphere that became so famous with the Randjiesfontein Fun Day. So its next stop, Randjiesfontein, the defending champions will defend at home. Is that the plan?
Well, Andrew, we announced that before the final, because obviously Turffontein was the first year, which is now, and then we were going to say we were going to draw, and then I got the guys together and say, instead of drawing, here's an incentive. Whoever wins, you're the defending champion. It's your home game next year, you know. So they were over the moon. Everyone agreed, and they thought it was a good idea. And that's how come now next year it will be at Randjies, and then obviously the VAR will get their turn. But I think that's what it's about. It's giving everybody a chance.
I just get the feeling that this thing's got a lot of legs.
Andrew, I think it's got a lot more legs than I have. So there's going to be somebody else that's going to have to take the baton and run with it, because it's, you know, people might think it's an easy thing to organise, but obviously it's the help that I got from Neville Harbert and George Sharinda with the fields and speaking to the guys beforehand, you know, even to going around and delivering the kit. I wanted to do it personally, to give to the guys, and just to show them, you know, to show them the respect they deserve. Because they do. People don't realise the roles they play in horse racing. And they do deserve the respect. I mean, you give them a 3, 4, 5 million rand horse to look after. You know, and these guys put their effort and everything into it to make it successful. And sometimes it's not in their power to make that horse successful as they would like. But they're there, and it's a part of the industry that has to be recognised as part of the industry.
Finally, Larry, there were probably many more than I noticed, but I did notice two particular gentlemen there, one of whom grooms Louis the King, and the other one who used to groom Eventual. Two serious horses. The one happens to be a budding entrepreneur who was selling cigarettes on the side, wearing his Kaiser Chiefs outfit. And the other guy was just the cheerleader of note, Thomas. He just kept those guys going. And it's just quite infectious that a guy who's been at the top is able to come and support his team.
Andrew, that's what it's about. You know, it's guys like that that aren't able to play in the team, but they support the team, because that's what it's about. They are a team, and the supporters is part of the team, and that's the beauty, and that's when you say how infectious it is. That's how they are. That's what they are about football and the teams they support, and especially now if it's and you're bringing them all together as Reinkies, because every day they go out and they compete against each other. Even as grooms, I've got a horse in the race, you've got a horse. We compete against each other. But yeah, they're competing as a team. And that's the sad part about horse racing, even though it's fantastic. It's always the horse on his own, the jockey on his own. It's never a team sport.
Except the Jockeys International.
Well, the Jockeys International that's the one day that it does, you know, epitomizes the sport of horse racing.
Well, I really look forward to the next competition, and knowing the fact that it is one of the most unifying sports that transcends everything in life. The sport of football.
There's no doubt, Andrew. Thank you.